Hello, I'm FGX and one of the most common criticisms I see of Minecraft is that people feel the community is not listened to as much as it should be. A lot of people feel like they're putting out their thoughts, their ideas, their criticisms, and they're not being listened to, they're not being properly considered or responded to, and this is something that if you follow any of the Minecraft community team, you'll immediately see is wrong, but the truth is, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't see the other side, and this is one of the things I try to fix on this channel. I try to share the most interesting or, most update-related responses from various Minecraft community members so that you can actually know what's happening with the Minecraft dev team or the Minecraft community team. But an interesting example of this is the fact that every month they have it confirmed that they meet and they discuss the most popular suggestions. But we didn't really know what happened in those meetings, like which features were added because of those meetings or not. But one thing that I've recently learned about, and maybe you didn't know about this too, I think a lot of you probably wouldn't, is there is a page on the feedback.minecraft.net website where they actually confirm every single feature they've said they're not adding to the game and why they won't do it. And I wanted to go through this list today. One, to talk about features that are confirmed not to come to Minecraft, and two, because of the fact that I think they gave some really interesting responses. In a lot of cases, it makes sense, and it's like, oh, you can't add that for that reason. Like, guns in Minecraft. We all know why that can't come. But there's a lot of cases where it's like, their response is something I'd like to respond to, so I'm making this video as like a response to their response because I want to, have them reconsider some things that I think might have been dismissed too easily. So with that said, let's talk about the Minecraft features that are not coming to the game. So first of all, the guns thing, like I mentioned, all forms of guns, muskets, hand cannons, bazookas, rifles, cannons, the like. If it's classified as a gun, they're not adding it to Minecraft. They've clarified this many times before. It doesn't fit with their theme or vision for the game. Gunpowder is in the game because it's for TNT, splash potion, and fireworks. They've clarified those are the uses they want to use it for, not for guns, not for shooting people, which, totally makes sense. I get that. But then also, this interesting one is they confirmed why they're not going to add furniture, vertical or sideways slabs. Something a lot of people ask for all the time is sideways slabs, and a lot of people ask like, hey, can we have benches and, like fridges and TVs, which, all are weird features, but they've confirmed the reason they won't add them is because they're features that inhibit natural creativity. In other words, they feel like if they just gave you a chair, you'd never have to make your own chairs anymore. If they just gave you a table, you wouldn't have to make your own tables. There's so many fun ways to make this furniture in a Minecraft world, and although a lot of them are really kind of janky ideas, that's part of the fun of Minecraft, being able to make your own everything, whereas if they, give you furniture, you won't need to make your own furniture. If they give you, the vertical slabs, you won't have as many different ways to make things like that appear, and remove some of the creativity from the game. And it actually makes a lot of sense. I do understand and kind of agree with that. But then also, at the 12th of July meeting, they confirmed that the Elytra combined with the chestplate suggestions are not something they're going to be adding to the game, because part of the trade-off is having an Elytra is that it takes up half your armor. They agreed that when they initially added the Elytra, the reason they put it in the chestplate slot is because it should be a trade-off. Do you want to have, full diamond armor, or do you want to fly? You don't get both because then you'd be insanely OP. And actually, I kind of like that, especially for, like, combat reasons. Like, well, I mean, if you want to, not die, do you want an Elytra or do you want the armor? You have to decide, and it's actually, again, decisions are what make games interesting, especially in the survival game mode. Then we also have, with regards to the now closed food and recipe thread, they would like to focus on foods that are not readily available via mods. When they add new foods to the game, they want to try and make them features that don't exist via a mod right now. And I think there's two reasons for that. One, because if they just add a mod feature in the regular game, then what have they really added? And two, because of the fact that, if they want to make it so that the mod can exist alongside this new feature, rather than like when they added horses to Minecraft, there was horses in the game and horses in more creatures. It was confusing and it just it caused a lot of downsides. So instead, they'd rather add new things, which is why there's like a red berry bush inside Minecraft 1.14, as opposed to something everyone's asking for, like pizzas and burgers. Like, those are features that exist in so many mods, but the red berries don't exist in as many, so that's something they don't want to do. But then we have stuff like realistic sharks. Fantasy sharks are definitely more thematic, also more creative. So are they going to add fantasy sharks to Minecraft? Because they said they wouldn't add sharks before. Now they're talking about, well, the reason we won't add sharks is because realistic sharks would be too much. So are fantasy sharks ever coming to the game? Like, that's the sort of thing that should be clarified, because here it just says realistic sharks not coming because fantasy sharks would be more fun and more creative. But it's like, but are there going to be fantasy sharks? Then we've got drowned dolphin jockeys, doubly so if they're holding tridents. Not only is that terrifying, but it's definitely not happening. It was a little too much. I agree it probably would be too much, but that would be cool. Again, but like, that's a fair response. But here's an example of one that I definitely don't agree with. So this is from August 2018. Colored water is already possible. we don't need to add it to the game because it's already possible in cauldrons, obviously, but when water is picked up with a bucket, it actually becomes a different item called a water bucket. So here's an example of something that I feel like needs to be reconsidered, because the colored water thing is, it's kind of on two levels. People want it for creativity, and they want it for consistency. So what they're saying is that when water gets picked up a bucket, it becomes a different item called the water bucket. Well, when you pick up any, like clownfish or any, any tropical fish, it becomes the bucket with a tropical fish inside, but it still stores which tropical fish it is. Water should do the same. It should just be a bucket of water in your inventory, but it should store orange or yellow water. Again, for two reasons. One, so if you pick up water from your cauldron and carry it to another one, it should stay the same color. It's kind of weird that it doesn't. That's inconsistent. And the other reason is because people would love the creativity of being able to have orange water in your Minecraft world. That would look amazing, as you can see on screen, right? Like, wow, wouldn't having colored water be amazing? Yes, it would. And yeah, this is something I would like to see them at least do in some form. Maybe like dye the water only slightly, because, you know, right now, Minecraft basically dyes the water based on biome. It'd be cool if you could dye the water in the real world too. Maybe there's some good reason for that, but I just don't think that that's enough an explanation. Like, it's already possible in cauldrons, yeah, and now we want it possible outside the cauldrons for consistency, and then they say, well, I mean, it turns into something else, but so do other items. You can still store that in the background, right? And I'd like to see the response to that. I'd like to see an actual explanation of why it's not possible, because their one doesn't seem to cover everything. Another interesting one, in my opinion, is that they said mixed potions are not coming to Minecraft, and their explanation was one I thought was kind of odd, because they said they've been suggested, prototyped, and then rejected. So they tried this out, and the reason they said is because the potion system doesn't work great for it, and also because the people at the studio says that's not how potions are supposed to work. And if, for instance, you mix two medicines like NyQuil and Pepto-Bismol, which I think the UK version of that is what, like some form of cough medicine and some form of like stomach medicine, you won't become a super medicine that fixes both those things. Instead, you're just going to get something that's going to, you know, give you real issues. But the problem is I feel like potions aren't like medicines. Potions don't fix problems you have. Potions give you abilities. A better comparison, because if you want to compare them to something in the real world, it's not like taking medicines. It's like taking, like I guess not even illegal drugs, but like, the potion of slowness is basically a joint, right? They both slow you down, make you less able to do stuff. And if you do that and you also take another potion or another drug, sometimes they interact badly, but most of the time it's like, oh yeah, I have a cold, and actually wait, I think there are a lot of bad combinations, but that would be a cool part of the potion system in game too. It'd be fun if there were certain things that if you combine them, they would go disastrously. Try and combine speed and, I don't know, jump boost or something, and you get negative jump, or like it just damages you. Like, it would be fun to make all these different combinations where when you combine two things, you don't just get the two potions combined, maybe you get some third effect sometimes. And that third effect could be a dangerous one, like harming potion, like teaches you don't mix up your stuff. I don't know the examples of things you shouldn't do together. Like, I think alcohol and cough medicine is the one that's like super dangerous, right? But there's a lot of examples. Wait, Mr. Editor, on screen, example of a dangerous thing to mix with a dangerous thing. Don't mix those two things, or you get the real life equivalent of a potion of harming. And yeah, I hope there is an example. But yeah, I will. The point is that potions in Minecraft aren't like medicine. They're like, it's something else entirely. So I think the comparison doesn't necessarily fit perfectly. I'd like to see a response that was based on the actual mechanics themselves, or at least to do with like, oh yeah, well, I mean, even then it just doesn't fit our design goals, because I don't think the real life comparison is fair, personally. Also, they confirmed all forms of poop and bodily fluids that have been rejected from being put in the base game too, and that includes animals and mob manure. Why do so many people ask for poop in Minecraft? Seriously, what is wrong with you? I need to know right now. Do you want poop in Minecraft? Like, get psychologically evaluated. Like, I honestly, it gets suggested so much. There's like, why? What do you want to do with this? Do you want to be like, it's been 30 Minecraft minutes. I've been enjoying shoveling this mountain or placing this glass on this end right here. You know what would be great if I could take a break and place down a poop somewhere. What are you gonna do with it? What is the idea beyond just like, I poop in real life, I want to do it in the game? It's so strange to me, and I don't get it. I'm concerned for you. I'm concerned for everyone, and I'm glad that they've confirmed it's not coming. But next up here, we've got mummies/pyramids. Mummies are too similar to husks, and I agree with that, actually. It'd be cool if they did have, if husks were basically just mummies, but I mean, I guess they're basically confirming they're not coming, because they would be just for deserts, and it makes sense. Saddles made of things other than leather. So dyeable things are, however, are still fair game. Putting the word dyed in front of an item is going to get old really quickly. So they're saying, don't have things that are dyed just for the fun of it. Try and have an actual reason for them. And along the same lines, they also confirm there is not going to be dyed wood. Dyed wood is dyed/paintable wood. Current limitations are by design. And a similar thing they should say is piston push limits and increases. Current limitations are by design. So current limitations are by design is also something where it's like, but is there a reason for that? Like, is there some great thing that can only be achieved by having the design thing? Is it just because they've had it in the game so long that, like, if you changed it now, a lot of things would break from the past? That's what I'd like to hear more about. I assume that's their reasoning, but it'd be cool if there was some form of piston that could push more than 12 blocks, because it would allow more creativity, which is a thing they said earlier they wanted. So next up, we've got ghost miners that lead you through a cave. They don't explain why that's not happening. They just say, we turned down that idea. It's like, but why? But why are there no ghost miners lead you through the cave? Like, I have a pretty good idea. I don't really want it personally, but I'd like to see the response in that one. We've got thirst was discussed. The team indicated they would prefer to focus on hunger/hunger mechanics rather than add thirst/another mechanism with similar focus. The redwood forest was deemed too similar to the mega tiger, so they won't add that. See, again, that's fair enough. It's like, okay, they're too similar. No point having something that's too similar to something that already exists. Mushroom villages were decided as not very likely, and it's like, okay, so does that mean that it could come? Just it's not likely to come? Not a good idea right now? Again, I appreciate the transparency on that one. But it's like, what does that mean as a community, you know? Combined slabs are also not coming, because if you're thinking putting two different kinds of slabs together would be great, it is. It just isn't going to happen. So this is where I can come in, I can save you. You can't combine slabs, but you know how you can. My video that's playing down, I can't do face cam. My video that's playing somewhere around me, where you can see you can combine half slabs, as long as you do the top half slab is one block, and the bottom half is another one, and it looks like you just combined half slabs. So pro tips of Soycat, if that's on screen. If it's not, then we gotta fire the editor, right? I'm just kidding. Please stay. Please keep editing. Anyway, so next up, we've got miner hats are too modern, sadly. Which, I mean, I guess fair enough. I don't know if I agree with that. There's not going to be a /undo feature /command, which, again, the explanation on that one doesn't seem to be too great, but they just said nope. No stacking up the ender chest /double ender chest. Again, I actually understand why this one doesn't make sense, but it'd be cool to see more of an explanation, because obviously if you have a double ender chest in one place and a single in another place, which half the chest shows? Can you not access half the chest till you make a double? Like, it would make sense, but it's kind of a thing. We've got no mirrors, which is, again, another one where it's like, is that a technical limitation? A creative limitation? Again, they started really good with the explanations. Then every now and then there's just one like this from August where it's like, so, no mirrors. Okay, then. Witches' huts are determined to be fine. No added chests. Okay, then. Let's talk about villages again. They're just traders. That's all they want to do. They don't want to fight or build or do anything but live and let live. They're pretty chill. Is that... Again, it'd be cool to see what idea they're responding to there. Because, interestingly enough, this is something that has been not proven to be false, but has changed. Like, in the next update, they will, they change their profession. They don't fight or build, but they do other things, right? So, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they're responding to when it comes to stuff like this. Because, yeah, again, it's an interesting thing to see. At this time, baby dolphins are not going to be added. The suggestion was made and it was decided not to add them, especially since feeding dolphins has a different function. They direct you towards shipwrecks and ruins. So, again, there's not going to be baby dolphins in Minecraft, and the reason they say it is because, well, I mean, what would you do with them? How would you feed them? Feeding them does something else, and just, we won't add it. And I actually agree with this. Like, if there's no point having a baby mob, why don't add a baby mob? It kind of makes sense there. So we're going to go through the last couple ideas now. These are from January of 2019, so there's presumably going to be another batch for February at some point soon. But roof forests, tree houses / contained buildings for illusioners, they're not coming. No explanation, which would, again, this is the sort of thing where it's like, it'd be cool to see what the thought process was. I love seeing the page. I love seeing that they're responding to direct community suggestions and considering putting them in the game. And in a lot of cases, they do put them in the game. But when they're not in the game, and it's something as cool as like, oh yeah, roof forestry houses would be cool as another way to find the super rare illusioners, because the Woolen Mansion is crazy, crazy rare. Redstone pastes and varieties of that type have you seen our wall redstone thread? This will probably cover what you're looking for, and it's under review. So they're saying there's a really popular idea, and they're not going to consider it yet because they're considering another idea. And it's like, again, I guess I appreciate the transparency, but it also is a bit confusing. And then finally, we have something from an unknown time in January 2019, sleeping bags. So guess if these are coming to Minecraft or not. I mean, this is a video about features that are not coming to Minecraft, but sleeping bags are not going to Minecraft because beds are so unique, it is highly unlikely there will be any additional furniture items like them. And I didn't know about this one necessarily, like, I mean, okay, but you added the campfire, and if you have a campfire, you can't just put beds next to that. But again, it never really mattered to me so much, like having different forms of beds, and it's interesting to see their direct response to that one. And it's interesting to see in general the list of responses to the most common community suggestions, and that's why on this channel I try, at least every now and then, to go through the most upvoted suggestions so you can see what is actively being considered in some places, to go through stuff like this, to go through the news, the update stuff, and I hope that's something that you found some value in. I hope you all enjoyed today's video for that reason. If you did, let me know with a like or in a comment saying, yeah, this is cool. Maybe do a video like this every, you know, like 6 months or whatever, like you had a bunch of ideas, because it's really cool to see the suggestions they've considered and the reasons why. It's just I feel like the reason I'm making this is to, one, share it, but two, because sometimes it feels like their responses are just missing something. Like, well, I mean, you know, like what idea were they responding to in some places? Why are there no mirrors? Why is the comment just no mirrors? I want mirrors. Mirrors would be cool. I'm sure there's great reasons why not, but if you don't give them, there it's just saying no mirrors, and I don't know, like that'll be something I'd like to see. But in general, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you got something from it. Like it if you did, share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and something just fell down in my kitchen. I might be being robbed right now, so I'll see you all in, assuming I get back alive, a short amount of time. Bye.